What is going on, everyone? My name is Jason, and this is the AirPods Max versus the Sony XM5s. Okay, check this scenario. You're thinking that you're an adult now, and whether it be for work, if you travel often, whatever, you've got it in your head that you're ready for your first pair of active noise canceling headphones. And since you're being all mature about it, you also decided that you're not pulling any punches here, you're looking for the creme de la creme best in this space, and if this sounds familiar in the least, it's very likely that two big hitters have gotten on your radar: Sony and Apple. Now, Sony is kind of the OG when it comes to headphones, and I think it's fair to say that they've been the head honcho in the consumer active noise canceling space for the past few years with their very popular but horribly named WH-1000XM series of headphones. But kind of out of nowhere, Apple made their first ever pair of over-the-ear ANC headphones in 2020, and despite this being their first attempt, they kind of crushed it with their AirPods Max. They've drawn a lot of attention for their sound quality, active noise cancellation ability, and of course, their kick you in the nuts price tag. And in an effort not to be outdone by the new kid on the block, Sony very recently dropped their latest update to their consumer ANC headphone lineup, the WH-1000XM5s. Yes, the name is still terrible. And Sony was cool enough to send me out a pair to check out, so I thought I'd put a comparison review together matching these up with the ultra premium AirPods Max to really see which company did it better. Now, I'm going to go over what in my opinion are the three most important pillars when evaluating headphones, with the first being comfort, and let's start off with the Sonys. So one of the first things that I noticed when taking out the new WH-1000XM5s out of the box was how insanely light these things are. They're noticeably lighter than previous iterations, and I was really excited about that because I've always given the Bose QC lineup an edge when it comes to comfort, mainly because they were lighter. Now, yes, they are using plastic as their primary build material, which I know could come off a bit cheap, especially when you take into consideration the price tag on these, but it's the main reason why they're able to make these as light as they are, so I think it's a fair trade-off. Sony also decided to use vegan leather for the ear cups and headband, and they are extremely soft and plush, and the ear cups are actually a bit larger than before, which should help mitigate potential pressure on the ears. Probably the biggest update from a design perspective is that the headband has a telescoping type adjustment that doesn't allow for the headphones to fold up. This does kind of suck because they're going to be a bit more clunky to carry around on the go, but I do feel as though that you can get a more precise fit with this new design. And to get right into it, the Sony XM5s are extremely comfortable to wear even for extended periods of time. I'm able to get a solid seal without any unwanted contact on my ears. The ear cups are gentle and again amazingly soft. They do well not getting hot even after long listening sessions. And the headband keeps the headphones secure, but I honestly don't even feel like anything is there because it's so lightweight. I wore these for work one day for almost 8 hours straight and I got zero fatigue on my ears, jawline, or on the top of my head. And seriously, most of the time I didn't even notice them, which to me is the true sign that they're super comfortable. Now, the AirPods Max go in a very Apple direction when it comes to build quality, and I'm not gonna lie, I had some serious concerns around comfort when these first dropped. And the first major thing that caught my attention was the fact that the primary build material being used on these are metal. You have these very nice aluminum ear cups and an extremely sturdy headband made out of stainless steel. And though I do tip my hat off to Apple for making an extremely pristine and luxurious pair of headphones, the AirPods Max are undeniably heavy, especially when compared to the feather-like weight of the Sonys. Now, in order to not completely forego comfort, Apple uses this unique mesh headband that's designed to distribute weight comfortably on the top of the head, and it uses these fabric ear cups instead of having your typical leather material. And look, given that I was almost anticipating a painful user experience, I gotta say the AirPods Max are actually pretty comfortable to wear. The headband really does do a good job distributing the weight, so I don't get any pain on the top of my head, which was the main thing I was concerned about. I get no pinching from the ear cups, and a little bonus with them is that they breathe, so they do very well with managing heat. And I didn't get that much fatigue when wearing them for a long video editing session, which again I was surprised about, but I definitely did notice them on top of my head from time to time. The AirPods Max are totally fine when you're sitting still, but dude, as soon as you move your head around, you're gonna be reminded at just how heavy these things are. In addition, the headband is a bit more snug than the Sonys, and I feel more pressure on my jawline and temple. I haven't been bothered by it, but I do feel as though if my head were just slightly bigger, these would become uncomfortable pretty quickly. So as nice as they are, the AirPods Max really don't come close here. The Sonys are noticeably way more comfortable. And honestly, I think they could be considered the most comfortable pair of consumer headphones in the game right now. Okay, let's get into the second pillar that's going to be ultra important when comparing these two, and that's going to be their active noise cancellation abilities. And this time, let's start off with the AirPods Max. Now, I'm not going to lie, I was a bit pessimistic around Apple being able to compete with the big boys like Sony and Bose when it came to ANC because they're just not as experienced. But man, what they were able to pull off with these is pretty impressive. The AirPods Max have 8 microphones around the drivers to take in ambient noise, and once you turn on active noise cancellation, there is a very noticeable reduction in sound around you. It's excellent with low frequency noises like air vents, airplane engines. It seriously transports you to a super quiet place even when the noise is super loud. And the ANC is really natural and soft. You don't get any pressure in your ears like some of the other competition out there in this space. It also does a pretty decent job with higher frequency sounds as well, which are much harder to cancel out. And their transparency mode is absolutely phenomenal. Sound comes in crystal clear to where it really sounds like you're not wearing anything, and it's like leap years ahead of the competition. Now the transparency mode on the Sonys, I'm just gonna come out and say it, it's not anywhere near as good as the AirPods Max. That's not to say that it's bad, it's actually pretty decent, but much like everyone else, Sony can't hold a candle to what Apple is doing in this space. That said, when it comes to the XM5's active noise cancellation, Sony has always performed great, but it went a bit extra with their newest offering. Much like the AirPods, they have 8 microphones dedicated for noise cancellation, and they equip not 1 but 2 of Sony's beastly processors to more accurately identify noise frequency in order to better cancel them out. And dude, there is a noticeable improvement. The ANC on the Sonys is so good that it's almost spooky how transformative the technology is. I wore these in a really loud cafe with a ton of people talking and music in the background, and it kind of felt like someone just hit the mute button when I put these on. Its ability to cancel out higher frequency sound is a noticeable improvement from what already was considered some of the best performance available in this space. And much like Apple, it's a really soft and natural cancellation process. No pressure in the ear, hissing, or anything weird like that. Now putting these head to head just for ANC, it's a clear win for Sony. Both are class leading in my opinion, but Sony really stepped it up, and it is to me better based on the multiple tests that I was able to do. But when it comes to transparency mode, the AirPods Max are the king, and it's by a far margin. Okay, the last and arguably the most important pillar to talk about is sound quality, because you could have a pair of super comfortable headphones that have really good active noise cancellation, but if they sound like trash, they're pretty useless. Now Sony is the way more experienced player in this area as they've been making headphones for a long time now, and the WH-1000XM series have always been lauded as having really good sound quality when compared to other consumer grade ANC headphones. And in an effort to step things up again, Sony implemented new 30mm drivers with the XM5s that are actually made out of carbon fiber. They are a bit smaller than what was used in the previous iteration, but brass tacks, when it comes to sound quality, these sound really good. Sony took a bit more of a balanced approach to calibrating the sound profile on these, as it usually has a reputation for having a bass-heavy sound signature, which a lot of consumers actually enjoyed. And the XM5s still have a solid thump on the low end, but with fuller mids and highs than before. What you're left with is a more natural sound compared to one that may come off overprocessed, and I have to say, when paired with the incredible active noise cancellation these have, the listening experience is extremely immersive and enjoyable. Now you can download Sony's app and use some of their preset audio settings or customize your own. The XM5s also come equipped with LDAC to take advantage of high resolution Bluetooth audio. There are some requirements around what device you're using and where you're getting your music from, but it's clear that Sony continues to be committed to sound quality, which really is a great thing. Now when it comes to comparing the XM5s with the AirPods Max, honestly I was expecting a bit of a tighter battle when it came to sound quality, but no, there's a clear winner in my opinion, and believe it or not, it's Apple. Love them or hate them, you gotta give respect where respect is due, and the AirPods Max are no joke when it comes to sound quality. Apple also went with a more balanced sound profile, and they have some of the best sound separation for closed back headphones. I'm not sure how they were able to get such a wide soundstage, but every component of the audio sounds more clear and distinct on the AirPods, which ultimately makes for a much fuller listening experience. The bass, mids, and highs all come off more vibrant than the Sonys, and truly not one overpowers the other. It's just a very well calibrated set of cans. I've gone back and forth between these two guys like 100 times with a variety of different audio tracks, and I've consistently found that the AirPods sound better. Now it's important to note that I'm not one of those crazy audiophiles that understands all the little nooks and crannies when it comes to sound science, so take everything I said with a grain of salt, but I have tested out a lot more headphones than the average Joe given the space that I occupy here, and honestly it's not exactly shocking that the AirPods could sound better because dude, they're way more expensive. With the staggering price tag of $550, we should hope that they deliver at least something better than the competition. And with the Sonys coming in with a more reasonable $399 price tag, it does beg the question, which one of these is the better buy? And to me, it's a pretty easy answer. The Sony XM5s give you better comfort, better noise cancellation, and really solid sound quality at a much more affordable price. And dude, I can't see anyone not liking these. Now, no doubt the AirPods Max are an incredible pair of headphones that honestly are probably the best sounding in the Bluetooth market, and they're relatively comfortable and do very well with active noise cancellation. But dude, that price though, it's just way too high. There's really no other way to put it. So if you're on the fence between these two, the Sonys are the ones I'd go with as I feel they're a better value, but let me know what you guys think. Do you think Sony's experience and expertise represented with their new XM5s takes the win? Or is it not enough to surpass the posh luxury of the AirPods Max? Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments down below. Okay, that's about it for this review. Don't forget to leave me a thumbs up if you guys found it useful. Again, I really appreciate it. Check out these other reviews if you're looking for more, and I'll see you guys in the next one.